hi everyone who's watching us. It's our second time we're going public with our Sunday talk, but we are doing it for like a year or something, more than a year right now.
Yeah, I think 2 years we're having these chats.
Yeah. Since I was in Bangkok and we met there, we started doing these conversations regularly, and I think it was cool. It's very cool to have this kind of routine because like things are changing, new projects, old projects. I travel a lot, and this is one of like routines I appreciate. It has some good impact and allows me to have a like uh, to see your like progress over time and like follow your projects and know some more things about your life, and also you have the same kind of thing, and it's really cool to have this like regular feedback on ideas we have. It's almost like a mastermind thing, but between two of us.
Yeah.
So cool format, and I hope it's also interesting and helpful for other people.
Yeah, same. And I think what I find interesting is that, we overlap in spheres, like we're both kind of running our own business, in similar spheres, but I think our approaches are pretty different. Like I'm a very like system process driven person. You're very much like you're deep into AI and like more advanced ways of doing things and lots of new ideas. So like I really appreciate that. So I think it's a good mix of different like approaches to solving similar problems.
Yeah, definitely. In many, we're using a lot of different tools, and having this conversation also like gives me a feeling like I have access to all this knowledge can have, and like I can just like bring some ideas and frameworks to my work easily. So yeah, it's like exchanging our mindsets and toolbox for building things. So it's
Yeah.
cool. I have one thing I was recently watching and having more focus on it because I think it could be very helpful in many businesses. I think it's just like a new modern marketing trend with like short form videos, and I think it's impossible not to say that that's a really big thing, and it's just growing. Like all this promotion through TikTok, shorts, reels, and many other things. And also, it's very close to advertisement. So if you have some good videos, you can also push some advertisement, like add some budgets to them, and to add more growth to something that's already growing. And I had a really nice conversation with one guy. I was kind of mentoring him for a while. He came to me like a year ago asking me, hey, do you have any job in your agency, or can I do something with you? We started working we had an internship with him, but he was kind of hustler, entrepreneurial guy who's like having a lot of ideas, and he's not very systematic. I think I also have some things with him in common, but I told him like, man, you have to try your own things. Maybe they will be small. There will be like a bunch of small bets, but you'll probably get more results than if you'll try to approach like corporate ladder, or will try to work with some guys. So he started doing his small projects, and they're like B2C apps, web apps, like I think Starter Story.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so this guy is just like copied the idea of like having in-depth analysis and like stories about some founders, and he was trying to find some unconventional marketing approaches and channels for growing his email list and growing his subscribers. So he tried a lot of things in Reddit, because I also promoted him Reddit as an interesting tool, and you can do a lot of things from there. And he got some like a mild success there. By the way, he's now selling his application for around 10K through like micro acquire or something like that. And one of the coolest things he just recently told me is that he is approaching TikTok with like mass video generation, and he's very in depth learning this thing right now. He's sharing a lot of his progress. So he discovered a lot of like successful cases with B2C applications and B2C products promoted through TikTok, like digital products like paid communities, habit trackers, like different tools for creators, like founders, different kind of makers. And the coolest thing about that is that you don't necessarily should be a model yourself. You can create an avatar easily with Heygen. Heygen is like really doing progress in how they generate AI videos. Another thing that you can do is you can hire a model, like a UGC model through Upwork or the other channels, and hire them once and ask them like if I can reuse these videos. And if you have one video, it will be enough to train avatar based on this video, and then you can use this avatar to make hundreds, thousands of videos, and you'll just need to create new scripts for the video, add it to Heygen, and you'll have like infinity amount of videos, advertisement, and of course you can post them to many different channels.
That's interesting because I was looking into this maybe 9 months ago, and like because I wanted to, for Texie, have like a news broadcast where we use a human, but we just take the avatar and we have them say everything, and we were using 11 Labs on the voice. But that's because like when I was looking at that time, like creating these videos, remember we were doing a bunch of experiments even like a year or 2 years ago, but like to do it proper so that they would look like they were, speaking and stuff, like it was pretty expensive to render. But
Yeah,
now maybe like the costs have come down to do that stuff.
yeah, exactly. I think last year it was quite impossible because the quality was not that good, so it was very easy to spot AI, and people will just not watch it through the end. And yeah, generations were very expensive. Like to generate every video, you'll have to pay like from like 50 cents to $5, and you'll not have a good unit economy with that. But right now, like you have to pay Heygen subscription, like it's around like 20 or $30, and then you have unlimited amount of videos. So you can generate really a lot of videos right now. You can test a lot of things, and now the only bottleneck there is how you post it, because like TikTok and other platforms, they're trying to fight against AI videos, and you have to create some unique editing every time. So create some unique things or mix different types of content. But I see a lot of like big channels on TikTok and Instagram. Big channels run like with all of the like 500,000 plus subscribers, and they have like videos reach millions of views, and they all completely run by AI. So I think right now, technologically, we are here. So we can really now build something with that, and we can implement it, and it will have a very good unit economy. So I think it's a very good time for all marketers, for B2C, even B2B things, to consider this AI growth hack. And I'm currently preparing a bunch of videos for Creators AI newsletter, because I think it's definitely a cool approach and cool way to market your content. If you have a text content, you can easily use this, repurpose this text content into video scripts, have an avatar or record it like your own avatar or try different things, because I think it's very important to try do a lot of like A/B tests and see what really converts and what have the best CTR. And yeah, we'll. I think that in next episodes, I'll definitely share some more progress on that.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I was watching Peter Levels on Lex Friedman
Yeah,
recently.
yeah.
Pretty good interview.
I was very excited to see indie hackers and like these indie startups going to reach big audience, because Lex Friedman is already a well-established influencer with like a huge audience. So now I think all this like AI AI rappers, indie hacking is going to be mass adapted, I guess. We'll
Yeah,
see it
yeah,
more.
yeah, for sure. I was like, and I found, yeah, he was talking a lot about, I think, photo AI, and he was using Stable Diffusion, and he was talking about like he uses an older model, but it was, it's open source, so they can use it for free, and then like, just what he was doing on top of just using the model to kind of get the photos to look realistic for a human face and stuff. But I just realized like there's a lot of opportunities, like where you're not just like competing against everybody by using the same model, and therefore there's no moat. Like it's what I took out of that was like there's a moat that you can create, which requires a fair amount of work and going deep on it. Like at least for him, it was like going deep on the human face. He does these like portraits and stuff. But I found that really interesting, and I'm sure like something similar is on video too. Like some people are gonna get better at certain types of AI video.
Yeah, yeah. I think that we have already seen, including Peter Levels, a lot of startups built by like solopreneurs. So one
Yeah,
person team built product generating 1 million ARR and stuff like that. And we have seen a lot of these things with photos. So videos and I think audio formats are the next. Text generators were pretty long time with us, like all this Jarvis, Copy AI, and so on. So they are quite mass adapted, I think, and we already seen like a lot of VC-based startups there. So it's pretty much established niche already, and photos is already getting like saturated. But I think videos for different purposes is still blue ocean and
yeah,
a lot of low-hanging fruits there, especially for small like specific niches like newsletters. Um, I still think that like Reddit has really a lot of potential, and if you can find a way how you can repurpose this content from different subreddits, that's a gold mine, because they have a lot of interesting, valuable content. When I try to dig into something really deep, I prefer reading forums and Reddit, different subreddits, because I think that you can find there a really unique, specific stories, people sharing them publicly, and if you're like searching something right now in Google, you'll see a lot of SEO optimized content, which is having like less value. You'll see a lot of these top 5 tools for something, or top 10, or how to do something, and all this content is quite overcrowded with AI generations, and you don't see much value from it. But in Reddit, if you go there, you can find really different level of quality. So I also thinking like someone have to find a way how to repurpose this content from Reddit, and video format could be very interesting.
yeah. The Greg Eisenberg is crazy about Reddit. I watch his podcasts on startup ideas a lot, and he uses the same gummy search, and he like did a
Yeah,
video about his method where he finds these like threads that are not too big, but are popular and they're growing in popularity quickly, and then this is how he comes up with a lot of his startup ideas. But I think like, like they have a lot of good content, and like you can come up with an interesting format to make AI
Hmm.
videos
Yeah,
based on.
yeah, yeah. The most interesting thing, I think I have seen this video as well. The most interesting thing I found there is Gummy Search allows you to not just find relevant subreddit with keywords and see what's growing and some hot topics, but also allows you to have analysis of a niche of like some. You can analyze a bunch of different subreddits, and you can find there some queries by redditors. So, for example, they are looking for some specific solution, or they are asking similar type of questions regularly. So you can find these trends, like these people are interested in like how to do something with something, and you can use it easily to for generating ideas, for finding your respondents, for customer development, and just validating ideas quickly. You can just go through. You have an idea like, well, do really newsletter operators need something for repurposing their content? You can just go to Gummy Search, find this newsletter related subreddits, and see if this is one of the top queries in the forum, and if yes, you probably can start building something.
Cool.
So
Well,
yeah, we are really really, I think, living in the best time in history to launch a new product or new
right,
tool.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
What,
I
what was on top of your mind recently? What was your recent thing?
So first thing I'll talk about is what I've been working on a bit. So we launched Task Beasts a couple weeks ago.
Congrats.
Yeah, like the model is just like it's kind of like Upwork or Fiverr, but we want to take all the friction out. So instead of having to like post a job and vet through people and choose someone, open a contract, like with our system, you go to ClickUp where that we set up a board for you like a Kanban, kind of like Trello, and then you just write out your task, and the task can be anything, right? And we're a little bit more expensive than Upwork, but very reasonable. And you just like it's more reliable. Like we have our own vetted people and stuff like this. So we threw up a basic website landing page, and we started advertising. So part of the core hypothesis was that Facebook ads is not saturated for promoting these kind of offshore services.
Mm-hmm.
And the hypothesis came when we were hearing about my friend's friend who has an offshoring firm in Pakistan, and like he was saying his friend's just like growing like crazy, and they undercut the bigger offshoring firms. Like there was Support Shepherd, which became Somewhere.com. There's Levy.com. There's a bunch of them. Growth Assistant is another one. So they're a bit more expensive. Like he undercuts them with Pakistan. He's got his own Pakistan team, and he's mainly using Facebook ads. So it's like, oh wow, like maybe Facebook ads, like if you undercut the other guys, it's a good channel for kind of promoting the service, because Facebook ads, like it's heavily used for local services now in the US. Like Hormozis, like gyms, stuff, like all those gym guys like using Facebook ads like crazy, and
Mm-hmm.
D2C commerce is very popular. But like offshoring, when I was looking at the ads, like it's not too tapped yet. Like a lot of it's kind of like this old school type companies. So we launched and we're doing Facebook ads, and I think right now, like I could say that like we've got a few hypotheses that we're testing, but we're testing them all at the same time. So we got to like split them out. So one hypothesis, like our branding approach is very different. We use these kind of like beast AI type characters, and it's kind of fun. We use these AI videos on the Facebook ads. The second thing is like you don't like most folks just connect to a lead form, and then like you have a phone call with them and they try to sell you, whereas we try to get you to just write up a task, and we'll do
Mm-hmm.
it, and we give 10 points for free. So 10 points is like you know it'll like it's like $50 a credit. So like you get like a basic task or two if you want. So so this is what we're testing. We got a couple leads come in, but like I think we got to work on like making it more understandable because they're interested, but they don't get it. And I think
Mm-hmm.
like we're also like we're creating more YouTube videos, so we want to show people our YouTube channel where we're gonna really explain how it works, why it's cool. We're gonna put a video on the main homepage so that people just watch that and they get it quicker. So I think what we found out from our first like week or two after launch is people seem interested. Like leads are coming in, they're more expensive than we would want, but like a part of our value prop is that we want to have for long-term relationships. So like for us, like an LTV should be above $1,000 because like they'll do one task and then they'll like the model and then we just try to like anything they want to outsource, we just do it. So yeah, like it's mixed
What
results, but
Yeah, yeah, I definitely understand like why people are not understanding because it's quite a new offer. And how do you, what's your like core message? What's your main like offer? How does it sound?
so it's like outsource anything by just writing up a task, right? And it's prepaid. So it's prepaid, you buy points, and then
Mm-hmm.
we estimate every task that you do, and then we execute it. We just deduct the points from your balance.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like mobile top up credit, like
Mm-hmm.
just top up your balance, put in a bunch of tasks, right? Do a couple to start, and you'll see like roughly how expensive it is to do with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the thing.
So you are kind of a middle manager for working with different with offshoring resources.
I would say, yeah, we assign people. Some of the people are people that we've worked with before and we just vetted and we met them on Upwork or something. Some of them work for my partner's agencies. So like he's got a design and engineering agency. And some tasks, like if it's AI heavy, like my other partner, he's an AI guy. So like one task, for example, from a client was like make an AI model for the EV, like electronic vehicle industry.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like easier for him to like put in the prompts and then try to like figure that out
Mm-hmm.
than giving
Mm-hmm.
it to a freelancer.
So he's also kind of operational partner there. You have two operational partners, you and your friend.
One operational partner and then one guy who was just like he's like you can consider him like an investor. He's more like a
Mm-hmm.
passive participant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see. I see. Yeah, that's interesting. I think that the main point here is to show some uh, some some like real use cases because you already collected a bunch of use cases for different projects, different clients. I remember like we had the post about that in Creator CI where you like explain how you work. You have a system, you work for different projects, including newsletter business, including different like lead generation businesses and so on. So like how this system uh, cuts time, like budgets and everything, and like increase efficiency. That's very important, I think, to to show it on examples for people, like so they see a real example of other like agency owner or other startup founder who is really like cutting a lot of costs on that because it's pretty great offer. I would um, you didn't tell me like I would love to try that because I work a lot with different freelancers and hiring them for some tasks on regular basis, and I'm not always able. One of the main bottlenecks for me is hiring process to find, to select, to have a first interview, to go through checklist of what I will get from this task, what will be the results of the work, and so on and so on. And I right now I'm outsourcing it to my assistant, and she's already super busy. I hired her for full time this month, like after a year of part time work for me, and still I have so many different tasks, like they are in my ClickUp. Also, like I completely switched to ClickUp for tracking tasks and
Oh, really?
everything. Yeah, and I also switched our agency, so right now everything is in ClickUp. And still I have like a lot of tasks, and they are on pause. They're waiting in backlog because it's taking time for us to hire these people, explain them tasks and everything. But we are already, let's say we are a client who knows exactly what we need to get. So we write very clear and precise technical specification for each task, like what should we get, what should be the format of this result, like what are the file type, like CSV with some data based on like this information and stuff like that. So for us, I think should work. I definitely want to try. I think it's also quite important to filtrate and help clients, help them identify what is their desired result. Because as I also like we work with Upwork as an agency as well, and I know I talk to some customers and clients from there, and I know how they make tasks, how they write them, how they explain them, and 50% of that is very raw task, very raw description without precise information, precise result. Like, so not everyone can formulate the right wording, and you help clients with that. For example, they go to you and they say, hey, I want to launch marketing for my newsletter business, let's say, and can you launch Facebook ads for me? What would you do with this type of task? Because that's, I think, how people formulate in general.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a good example. Like, so we have a Facebook ads person that we've used in the past, and we know exactly how we would structure, like, we'll ask them, all right, set up the first campaign. Here's what we need to align with from the client in terms of what inputs we need. And this is roughly what we've seen as a fair price. So, like, that kind of task, because we've done it many times, like the client, if they haven't done it in the past on Upwork, like they automatically leverage, the fact that we've done this for a couple of years with Upworkers and have tried a few people and now have someone that we're comfortable with. Like, is there someone better that they can find if they spend a lot of time on it? Maybe, right? But like we try to find like people that are pretty decent that we trust. And the other thing is like what I find, so like the biggest client that we have for this business task piece is a client where I'm kind of the fractional COO / CTO head of tech person. And what I've seen evolve, because they're kind of for the last few months using this, and all kinds of teams use it. So like we're making YouTube videos, um, we're making designs for a new website. We're using Bubble engineers to develop a new website. We're creating like SEO content. So lots of different departments or people in the company are using it now, and they've just gotten used to the system.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's just very easy for them now. So that's kind of the hypothesis, is like, if you can teach a company how to do it and they just like it and they get used to it, they'll just start using it on their own. Like more and more people use it. They're like, oh wow, like I can, use some budget and just get this stuff done for me. Like, and it grows.
So it's a self-service B2B.
Yeah, and I kind of act like a fractional manager for them at the beginning, because I want to make this as frictionless as possible. So like, I'll just talk with the client. They'll explain to me what they want. I'll sometimes write up the tasks with them or on their behalf. Right? So that they just have a very smooth onboarding. And then like, even as we scale, like if they want to do like a weekly call where they just tell me, Ken, all right, like let's review all the stuff I asked you to do, and I'll give you new tasks. And then they
Hmm.
could just like talk to me, and I'll like split this into tasks, and I
You,
know
you,
exactly how to structure it.
you
So
act
that's kind of,
as account manager, right?
yeah, like an account manager, or I almost like to think of it like I have a slight managerial role. Like I can envision participating in some of their team meetings and understanding a little bit about what's going on in the company so that I know where I can plug in my guys.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
It sounds almost like a consulting or uh,
it's
like
a consultant, but we're
it
not consulting, we're like executing,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. I understand like your, but I mean the way how you integrate into the company needs, and
yeah,
I think you're trying to be as like initiative and proactive as possible to really get the to see like what they really need. You can dive into their meetings and what they're
yeah,
discussing, and then like extract some of information and like offer them this prepared go-to plan for hiring and executing these tasks.
yeah, exactly. And then what I'd like to do more of is work with like solo entrepreneurs or small founding teams. Like when Peter Levels was describing what he did and how many different projects he does, like we're a perfect partner because there's probably a lot more he could do for a lot of those businesses, but he doesn't have time and he doesn't want to interact with all these like freelance people himself. So instead, like he has a single point of contact, and I can be like, all right, like we'll like put up a website for that one. We'll get the Facebook ads running on this other thing. We'll do this, and he can just like set it and forget it. So that's the relationship we want. Like we want founders to start to realize, like, don't hire employees and don't try to manage lots of like freelance people yourself because that's a lot of work. Like, and all that stuff about how to manage that well is like how my brain works. So I want to like leverage that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So solopreneurs, it's not only B2B
Yeah,
who are you
solopreneurs
targeting?
too. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like we onboarded a client a couple of weeks ago who had a successful newsletter business, content business, where he's got like sponsors from corporate and stuff like this. And now we run all his processes. So like all he does is choose the content. We do everything else.
That's cool. That sounds really cool. I think it's great, also great like message and great offer value for solopreneurs, because if they are usually those like type of people who are diving into every part of their job. So if it's designing a thumbnail for YouTube to promote their application, they will like spend some hours, will really like dive into that. They may be very bad at it, and they may learn it from scratch, watching YouTube videos and do everything themselves. That's from one point of view, it's a great thing because they really like add their personal. Sometimes they add this authenticity in the process. They really like do it with love, and you can see it from some products. But in other cases, they're just like wasting their time. They're burning out doing some tasks they are not intend to do, and they're not good at it. And I more support this second way of view, because I prefer to do what I really love, what I'm interested in, and if I feel I'm not the best person at it and I'm not really enjoying that process, I'll better delegate it, outsource it. For me, it's much easier to outsource it to an assistant, and then the assistant will hire someone. But as I told you, it takes a lot of time to go through this funnel and everything.
Yeah, and I worked with a few assistants or clients' assistants in the past. And I think the other thing that I try to do when I set these clients up is we structure it in a way that I'll scale easily.
Mm-hmm.
And like when I see the way that these assistants are gonna try to do it, like it's a mess usually. Like they're somewhat organized, but like they don't have a system. Whereas like
Mm-hmm.
I have a single system, where we set up a ClickUp, space and folders and lists, and everything's organized by type of task and there's statuses, and then we keep that very disciplined because that's the
Mm-hmm.
only way that we scale.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like when I talk with these assistants, like they're just sending some stuff on Slack and like they have no system.
that could be another sales point and another like unique value proposition for your service, like hire our system instead of hiring a virtual
Yeah,
assistant, because we have no capacity for like yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
that's it.
That's what I got to get more into that. Like, I need to find better ways of getting that across because that's the biggest part of the value prop is that, I blog about my system for a couple of years now, but like my system that I use, I just find it like it's transformational in how much better organized things start running once you start using it. So like that's what I really want to leverage with this business.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, and I should say I also like learning from your system. Like everything is a task right now in my agency,
Yeah.
and if there is no task, this thing doesn't exist. So even if it's a short call or giving some access to some application or um, even if it's a thing like to research, like, hey, can you please research this app? Can we use it for our client and stuff like that? We have tasks and we have middle management. So for us, it's easy. We don't need to create and control all these tasks. We just, you know, we already have some kind of SOPs and middle management who create all these tasks and track it with some developers, designers, no-code builders, freelance resources, and the system works really good. Now we can track. We can now track how much time we spend on what type of tasks. ClickUp gives us very good data on our weekly and daily statistics, like how many tasks some people are doing, how much time they spend on it, and since we have some resources we use with hourly rates and we pay like on time and material base. So for us it's very also ClickUp is very comfortable for tracking this time, understanding budget, making estimations, and we aim to have it as transparent and like clean and structured, so we don't really need to hide it from rewrite or like prepare it for customer. We can for our client. We can just have the system and we can share publicly access to our clients so they can see what's going on. They can see the process
This is
transparently.
what we do. This is what I always do when I hire my own teams. Like we make everything transparent.
Yeah, and
And
I think it's very good. It's just very good milestone when you reach it. You feel much more. It's much easier to work, and
yeah,
there are less complexity in this type of approach. Because if you reach this, I can share everything with my client, especially in agency business. If you can reach this milestone, you are, I think you are very efficient at least in like this tracking tasks and everything. You don't need to have
yeah,
these complex communications like how to say it to a client, what should we say, how do we share results and progress and so on and so on. And a lot of
exactly.
questions just disappear. I love it. So yeah,
Yeah,
also thankful for your system. It helps a
yeah,
lot.
sure, sure. I was one last thing was I was talking to this friend. He was visiting from Vietnam a couple weeks ago, and he runs an e-com agency, a pretty big one. They've got like 500 employees. They raised a bunch of money from Temasek, like 50 million or something. And he was like, "Yeah, I got 500 employees, and like they just hit profitability, but like, it was like, I was like, wow, like there's probably a lot of cost you could still take out and really make this a very profitable business. But right now, like, they don't use ClickUp or anything, like, and some people like 3 or 4 levels deep. And I'm just like, wow, if you put all of that on ClickUp, I bet some people on those third and fourth level that are down from you and they're managed by other people. Like once you had in ClickUp what they were doing, like you'd find out that they were doing their job in an hour a day and you're paying them
Yeah,
full
yeah,
time. Right? Like that's
definitely.
just what always happens. Right? Like when you see like when everything is a task and any work that anybody does has to be an update to a task and you see that they put in 2 updates and it looks like it took them an hour, like Like,
Yeah,
why do I need this guy full time? You know, it just makes
yeah,
all that transparent. Like before that, he's like, oh yeah, the assumption of these people that don't have systems, like, oh yeah, that person must be really busy.
yeah.
Reality is that they're not, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Well, that's already like a kind of strange model. I don't understand how like agency could be VC baked and not profitable. From my like experience like talking to other agency founders, I have seen that most of agencies, I would say 99% of agencies are profitable, and it's a dividend business. So
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
kind of strange.
I think there was like I think now it's becoming more like that, but like back a few years ago, e-com agencies and enablers were a big thing, and people thought they were going to be worth a ton of money, and so VCs were giving money into them, like e-commerce and these kind of companies.
Mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm. I think it happened. It happened during this like D2C boom, and I think marketplaces boom as well in Asia, when everyone was like having income in your blurb, in your pitch deck was like enabling you to raise money. Even the model is not really venture model, so you kind of like do thousand thousand x or hockey stick growth, but you're in a very promising industry. People thought at that time, and but I think in the end of the day it will be the market will decide. The market will be fair. So these guys who raised a lot of money, they will just probably end up unprofitable for at least investors, and they will switch to dividend agency business model. And yeah, anyway, I think that if I would have this approach with like everything is a task from day one, building an agency, I think we would be different place right now. Definitely 5, 10
for
times
sure.
more.
Like I've just like when I try to explain people, I've been doing this for 4 years and I keep optimizing it for 4 years. And the difference in how well a company or team runs, like it's just crazy. Like and I don't even know. Like there's nothing that I do now that is the way I did it 5 years ago. Like I was just talking about this with a friend. Like, is there anything I do today that is similar to what I did 5 years ago? Like, no. Like I do everything different. Like there's almost no meetings. Like I don't really hire full-time people anymore. So
And
it's a mindset shift.
I think it's this thing that uh, people have problems with managing other people and tracking what they're doing, tracking their work results and progress. That's a very common problem, actually. Many founders, many businesses, entrepreneurs, they just don't know how to manage people, how to track this accurately, efficiently. So they either like they should so for them there are only two choices. I think you three choices. I think first you do it yourself and you become a solopreneur and you just do everything yourself. You have a to-do list for your day and you just like do one by one, doing everything yourself because you cannot manage other people. Or another way, you find a system how to do that, so people will not be you'll not need to communicate over every task and chat about everything, explain everything to other people and control what they have done because the system works. Or another way, and I still see a lot of these cases, you just hire people who are managers by their nature, so they're good managers, leaders. You don't need to manage them. And you can just trust them in the process. But I think that's quite expensive, especially in time. I think right now hiring those like type of managers, experienced team leads, and so on, senior level experts, it's getting more and more expensive because tech industry still offers like 700 grand for senior role jobs in different companies, and these like senior level guys, they have to decide like going to startup with like some promising equity, which like will probably work out in 1% out of 100, or I just go and take this 700 grand offer and I'll just buy a house next year. And yes, it's quite difficult. And another thing that's getting it more difficult to hire the senior level guys, because right now they understand, especially how with help of Peter Levels and Lex Friedman, now they understand, wow, we can build things that generate like good amount of money for living and for investing, for having sustainable lifestyle, doing everything solo. I don't need team, I don't need co-founders, I don't need even and it's true, you don't really need a marketing person if you want to reach 100,000 MRR, because so many channels could be automated, so many channels will just require sharing your product. So yeah, or you can just hire some marketers from different platforms, including yours, and just ask them to set up advertisement and allocate some budget. That's it. So it's getting more difficult to find co-founders or hire good level, senior level experts in your products.
Yeah. When I like now on the things that I work on, like I don't work at a huge scale, but still, I couldn't imagine, even if I scaled a fair bit, I couldn't imagine hiring like a full-time manager. Who just manages other people. Like I could, someone that does quite a bit their own and maybe also helps review and manage other people. But like this whole mindset of like having managers that just manage, like when you get good at these systems, like you just realize like it takes me 10 minutes to like review the updates from that team. Like I don't need someone like
it works. I kind of agree, but it depends on who you are working with, because if you are working with enterprise client or brand, you need account manager. You need someone who will speak to a client and go to meetings with them and so on, and they just may just ask you for having like 5 meetings per week, and you need a dedicated person.
When I say manager, I don't mean account manager. Like I totally get the need for like talking to clients, because I consider that someone that's actually like doing something. When I say manager, I mean like the person who's literally just like telling people, all right, like you do this.
I think this thing is already out of time. Those guys who work with this model in 2024, they are quite outdated, and right now, I feel like it's a system, or do it solo, or just expect senior level resources so they can manage themselves correctly. Another thing, but still, like account managers is another thing. I think I told you last time, and recently I had another conversation with interesting founder. He's AI influencer, and I discovered this problem with hiring account managers for some tech like niche specific cases. For example, for like building LLM models and AI products for enterprise customers and like different, even startups. So he was an AI influencer. He got like 100,000 following across different channels. He's ML engineer by his professional background. So he launched in just 6 months. He and his partner, co-founder, they launched an AI agency using Upwork for generating leads and customers. And their average project, so they were basically creating team for every project. They were diving into discovery, like learning about the client, learning about their needs, talking a lot to them, discovering the way how they will build this product or AI model, and then they will bring some senior level experts from AI, like middle and senior, but mainly like middle plus. The lowest seniority they had in their team was middle plus AI engineers, and they were hiring these AI engineers, and they were charging 20 grand per month for one engineer, and average project has 2 engineers and one like account manager slash architect who was talking to client, discovering their needs, doing some tests, and like just, and of course like managing the process. And they grow up to 1 million ARR in less than 6 months, and they were able to have even more clients. They were getting like pretty solid amount of leads, but they were not able to scale because they didn't have these account managers. And he told me like, I cannot hire them because these guys can go to Meta or Google and a lot of other companies who were ready to pay them 500 grand like plus per year, and for stable job, like good LinkedIn line and everything. And it was quite difficult for them to source these account managers, and they were working themselves, founders. They were engaging a lot with clients, especially this AI influencer. He was like the main key account manager, and at some point they decided like, wow, we don't know how to make it we don't know how to scale. Like we cannot even like take new projects because we're just don't have enough time to work with them, and we cannot hire anyone. They hired some people and they failed, so they were solving tasks for them. And that's again like showing me there is still I think there is a gap in how we can easily hire some experts in marketing, design, development, but some verticals, some niches like AI still lack of good resources, English-speaking resources, and there is a huge potential market for offshoring them. I don't know. Maybe the only way to fill this gap is by teaching people and making some courses and getting these leads from these courses, and then put them to work. What do you think about like account managers? Can we offshore that as well?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like there's a lot of account management that is done kind of out of the Philippines. I don't know like how high end it is. I think it's more like it's not really like advanced AI. So I think it depends like how technical and competent the person needs to be in AI. But for sure, I think like for me, managing account managers, I've managed a number in the past, and yeah, I was in Groupon, which is a very sales-driven account manager. But I think like the key in getting good ones is being very clear about the systems that they're going to use and what you want from them. Because like I find if you put them on a good system, you say, hey, like this is what I want you to keep track of. This is how often I want you to talk to the client. This is the communication I want to do, and you're tracking all that well in ClickUp or something. Like, you know, it's hard for them to fail, in my experience. Like if you're very kind of like, you know, transparent about what you want, and they know that you're checking what they do. Whereas like if you just kind of like are nebulous and you're like, all right, like go off and do this, and I expect you to, you know, achieve good results, like that's sometimes a recipe for failing.
Yeah, yeah. I also had like this idea of related to your project, related to your system. I have seen more and more projects called like boilerplates. I think it's quite a trend in Twitter and indie hacking and solopreneurship bubble. like everyone is building these boilerplates because it's an easy way to kickstart your product, your hypothesis. You have everything in place. Like you just get you have a good framework. Everything is connected, database, Stripe account, so you can launch product with AI, with paywall or some subscriptions integrated, everything in. You can just launch it in one day with these boilerplates, and there are a bunch of them right now, and few of them are generating a good amount of money. Like Mark Lu is one of the famous indie hacker who built Ship Fast, and I think this is one of the first like big success in this market. And later on, there were, I don't know, like I think around 100 other boilerplates appeared, and these guys were, some of them were just copying his idea, some of them were just doing it for different frameworks like Python, JavaScript, Next.js, and so on. And the good thing here is, again, if you're a solopreneur or you're indie startup, you don't have a lot of, you don't have budget, you don't have access to money. We live in 2024, so no one really raising money right now. It's more difficult, and valuations are not that cool. So you just take this framework. You don't need CTO to run your startup. You just need a product manager or I think junior level developer can handle it. And even myself, I tried some of these boilerplates, and I can set up them with help of ChatGPT. And I was thinking like, well, boilerplates for your website, for your app, for your backend, like technical part is sorted out. How about boilerplates for running your team? How about like boilerplates for marketing, for launching, like let's say, content marketing or partnership marketing or affiliate, or while we are talking about tech-based system, about like launching this, having this boilerplate for your startup to operate and manage people and manage tasks and everything. How do you, did you think about that?
I think in certain areas, I think they don't call it boilerplate, but I think it's something like that, like with Alex Hormozy's gym thing, they were kind of like doing a boilerplate of how to do sales and marketing for a new gym, right? And they had systems, and they have like the
They call
Facebook
it
ad.
Blueprint or something.
Blueprint is Brian Johnson. They call it something. Gym, they call it Gym Grow or something. I don't know.
Okay.
And I see this in the lead generation world a fair bit, because you have a lot of these like, ed learning programs that you pay big money for, and it's got all the templates that you use, and they give you the cold email template, they give you the scripts, they tell you exactly how to run your Facebook ads. So I think there's something like that, maybe not for AI, and I like that. So yeah, like I still don't have a good grasp on like what are these AI opportunities that are like not too competitive and you can do a boilerplate approach on. But if there's demand and people that want that, then yeah, I think it's a good idea.
I think especially good idea is to add this like boilerplate framework, boilerplate business model, where you have a one-time product, or it could be a product with one-time integration and then some subscription. But you can easily target some specific needs, some specific structures. Let's say I was thinking about this model for e-commerce, because like launching your Shopify store is quite it has a lot of templated things. Shopify basically made their business model based on this like template approach. So they created a template themselves of how to create and manage an online store, and this template is so far the most popular, right, I think, at the moment, and millions of stores using this template, right? But still, like if you are launching a new online store, even you have this template, yeah, but how to set up a good, for example, online store with good conversion rate. Because if you just take a Shopify theme and set up it in your store, it will be very general. It will not connect to your content, and it will not have a good conversion rate optimization for your product and so on. So in this way, you need to have a niche specific approach and have a good template for selling supplements or selling merch or selling I don't know, products for interior. And yeah, you always can niche down, find another level of niche, and create a very very well prepared design, architecture of processes, integrate necessary tools and applications that will be 100% used in this business model, in this type of business, and then sell it as a ready template, and you just add your CSV of your products or of your services, or just push your content somewhere in a very very easy way, and then you just link your domain. That's it. That's I think that's underseen opportunity for many businesses, because we are living in the best moment to launch new things, the best moment of time, and we see a lot of solopreneurs, indie hackers is getting more publicly adapted. And why there are not that many operational models? I know every business is run by different people, and it's very much related to how people think and their mindsets. But I think if you have a good system, if you have designed it very well and fits a lot of different industries and verticals, you can take this framework, take this model system, and just resell it. And make it public, self-service, public model, so people can just go there, buy your, let's say, ClickUp template. It's I don't know, Notion file with a list of different processes and principles of working with this ClickUp and tasks and everything, and then just very simple instruction how to onboard people because onboarding is one of the most costly and expensive thing for integrating these systems. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I really like the idea of thinking about, all right, how do we create the Shopify of AI services, and you can create services and then sell them as these boilerplates, and I could have my ClickUp management system, and maybe AI is involved, and then I just sell that, and people can use it and sell it to their own clients. And I think that definitely that makes a lot of sense. I'm not
Yeah.
the right. I don't. I haven't been on top of the latest AI trends. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know how to do that. That's where I'm at right now. But I should learn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will share with you some materials on that, because I recently found a bunch of these boilerplates for AI wrappers. So you can just it's a template for building mobile and app application. Mobile, so people will be able to, your customers will be able to install it in App Store, and it's a one simple function application. So let's say one of the examples I've seen you can build with this app is calorie tracker or image food recognition application that guess how many calories in there, or you send pictures and it tracks some information from the image. It could be food, like your wardrobe and stuff like that. And I think that the barrier to go there is super low. But again, it's a great product for solopreneurs, and I think that, yeah, of course, everyone now, solopreneurship is going so popular, but there are still a lot of small teams, 3 to 10 people, they're running small businesses. They have lack of system, lack of processes, and lack of simple product. They do services. They do a lot of like manual work, and helping them with these boilerplates, with this like simple setup, like procedures. No one need to manage everyone. Everyone just do their tasks, and it's a great potential. And yeah, businesses are there's still a lot of legacy businesses and like old style local businesses. I think you have some ideas on local businesses.
Yeah, no, I think these old school businesses that are relatively small, but maybe they're doing some local services or things, like they're often high margin and they're so inefficient regardless. And therefore, if you could come in and help them, with these boilerplates, but doing everything more or less like efficiently, I think it's a great thing. And then you would learn about all these interesting business niches that are actually very profitable that like you didn't know you didn't know it was so profitable. And I think I would love to be in that position to kind of like have these boilerplates and go and meet these businesses and help them. And
Yeah,
I think it's a really good.
it's I just had an idea. Like it's like having a franchise business model, but doing it in a reverse mode. So you are a franchise owner, and but your franchise is like a technical knowledge and expertise and everything. And you go to some existing businesses, and you go to them and you say, hey, do you want to scale like a franchise? Like a franchisee business model, like, but you will own everything, your intellectual property, revenue, everything, equity, it's yours. But I just provide you these assets, these templates, and now you can scale like Starbucks.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. That's more the way I'm evolving towards thinking about this task-based stuff, in that like it's kind of like business in a box. Like I have a system that you can run your entire company, and then I have for anything you need to run that company, like you need accountants, I'll plug in accountants. You need marketers, I need to plug in them. You need a sales team, I'll plug in. It's like don't hire anyone, just use these systems that I give you, and you'll learn, like, and we'll plug in the people to do the tasks, and like it really simplifies things for business owners.
Yeah, and I think still the main bottleneck here dealing with local businesses and this old school services and everything is founders and owners mindset, because if these guys are ready to do some changes or not, that's the main question. I think
Yeah,
you've worked with a lot of local services. You tested a bunch of hypotheses with it,
yeah,
and
yeah, and I saw exactly what you mean. Some of like one good example, the guys were about my age, but they were like more traditional, and yeah, like those type of guys are like, especially if they're already profitable, they're not gonna like take the time to like think about how to use ClickUp, and they're gonna think this is a little bit of a waste of the time, right? But like
mm-hmm,
the thing that they will agree to do is just talk to me. So like I think with some of these businesses, like you need that middle person that can speak their language, take their
mm,
kind of nebulous, unstructured thoughts, and then create a system out of it. So
mm-hmm,
like that's, I think, a little bit like there's a little bit of consultation that's required to make that
mm-hmm,
leap.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and it should be a local influencer who is well trusted by these local owners, business owners, and I think that's the hardest part, how to find these local influencers.
Yeah. I One last idea I had.
Mm-hmm.
So this one was around SEO. So like I think SEO is like disappearing a little bit. People are just like they're using things expecting the answer rather than just links, right? More
So
and
it's
more.
more AI generated SEO, so AI generated search. I see.
Yes, yes. But I think on transactional local searches, like I'm looking for a plumber in my area. that is where like I'm not sure that like an AI response is the best one. Like, like I don't necessarily want the AI to determine like who the best plumber is around me. Maybe
Hmm.
maybe I try, but like I still think there's some room in SEO, and I think that local SEO is so broad. Like, because you take SEO, you split it by geography and niche, and you're only really competing against the people that are in your niche and geography. And then, so there's not that many players that are kind of systematically creating AI content in all these combinations of that niche plus that geography, right? And so, like with my company that I help in solar, we're doing this, right? We're not doing a completely AI process, but we're creating everything, using ChatGPT, all the content. We're adding some images manually, but I see us like, you know, getting more and more impressions and clicks, and I'm like, wow, like this could be replicated, you know. And like the reality of, yeah, this is in Philippines. Like the reality is like there's nobody really using AI content in Philippines for solar.
Hmm.
So like we're the only ones that are like pumping out like, 50 to 100 pages a day. And so that is like the kind of land grab that I see here is like then you like, because they have a way of monetizing it. But I think the key is like, all right, if you even if you could do this, like how do you monetize it? That's kind of the part that I think
Hmm.
is the challenge.
You mean how to monetize the traffic?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a good question because not every no, the problem with the AI generated traffic I see in common is it's usually low quality traffic without it's very difficult to create uh, traffic that will have buying intent, and all this SEO like AI SEO generated content articles and everything that if you don't have a good conversion rate optimization approach and you don't know how to target these long tail keywords, and it's quite related to SEO psychology and different like other aspects, and including conversion rate optimization, you end up with like having a lot of traffic, but this traffic will be considered low quality, and in the end, it will even potentially bring you more damage. I have seen some cases recently where this like AI generated traffic, if you don't know how to use it, if you generate it, but traffic is crap. You just make your domain rating and your indexing even worse. And in the end, like algorithms will decide this is not good content for audience, or this is not a good product for advertisement models. So it's still a good question.
One thing I'll add, because I get your point, and I think that's why a lot of work needs to be done, like determining on what niches you choose. So I'll give you an example. Like I think it's working for this solar because solar is just now getting popular in residential. So all the articles are more about residential rather than industrial or commercial solar. And then like just now, like solar financing options, banks are starting to do solar loans and things like this. So there's interest from the public, and there's not really content. And like the content that you could create just with ChatGPT more or less answers the question that people have, right? Like, and then like, and in their content, like we're not really promoting the company. We're just answering the question. Like we haven't yet gotten the step. All right, how do we now convert this into like a customer for the company? And we got to get better at that later on. But first, we're just proving that we can get traffic. But I think like if you look for that combination of okay, this is a trend that is opening up new types of queries or like new types of players, right? In this case, it's like financing is now available for solar in Philippines, and that's like empty, like nobody's created content for that. So I think
Mm-hmm.
like you got to look for those opportunities. Like, what is the trend in the market that like nobody really has content? Like, people have a lot of questions.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's the sweet spot for content marketing, where you can create an article and it will generate thousands of leads worth of millions. I had this experience. It's actually it requires a lot of niche specific knowledge and understanding the space very well. I did it when I was just about to launch the agency, and I created a long article about how we made this difficult custom project integrating a lot of different third-party software into Shopify, and we spotted need for integrating the software in advance, and we saw like a bunch of queries they were repeating. We saw that there are no leader in this space, so we took this like leadership in this long tail like keyword query, how to integrate this for in Shopify, and it helped. Like actually, this one article helped us to build an agency. In the end, I think that this article worth more than $1 million because it still generates money. It's a very interesting case, especially if you are a marketing specialist. If you can create content and you can find these niches. That's where Gummy Search, again, coming back to that topic, is important.
Also, like the way I was thinking about it a little bit was, if you think about like the way this company typically gets their leads is Facebook ads. So Facebook ads is very big in Philippines. So you just you could look at all the niches that are big on Facebook ads, but don't really have a lot of content online written about them. And like most companies are lazy. Like they're gonna turn on the Facebook ads, and if it works, like they're never gonna go
touch
very
it.
Yeah, like they're happy with that. Like they don't ever like go and do heavy SEO or anything, and the ROIs takes much longer. So like, if you got good at this thing, you just go find all these trending niches on Facebook ads, and you know who's willing to spend. You go and you create some sites that generate traffic, and you send it to them, and then you sell it to them.
That's actually a good topic of for another talk, like how to find those like exploding topics in with Facebook ads, because I know how to analyze Reddit right now. I know how to use like Google Trends and other like exploding topics and other services for like analyzing SEO search queries in different places. But how to analyze Facebook ads? That's interesting. I know how to analyze Facebook ads library, so you can find your competitors and some players in the market and what ads and creative they're running, so you can understand their offers, their content, funnel. But how to discover some growing or trending topics in there? That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm like you. Like all I've done so far is use the Facebook ad library, but like I've seen advertisements for a couple of tools that kind of claim to be able to do this. Like they look at all the Facebook ads, because this is all like public information pretty much, accessible to everyone. So they like ingest all that, and they start telling you the trends and like where.
I think they may. I have an idea how it can work. If you have Facebook ads library and you have similar web. So you can see the traffic, and if you see that they started Facebook campaigns at this time, let's say in October 2023, and then you see that October 2023 there was a spike in their traffic, and similar web shows you the source of traffic. I know that they're just guessing it, so I'm not sure how good and accurate is this data, but you definitely can see some spikes in there and see like, wow, like there is a spike, they just launched the campaign, and the campaign is still active, so probably this campaign is driving some visitors and sales.
And I think a lot of it, like the company that I work with, they almost only use the lead type of Facebook ad. So they don't send anything to their own web page, just because like the conversion is so much worse. Yeah. And I think a lot of people are figuring that out, especially in local services. Like just get the lead on Facebook. Don't try to lead them to your website, because like it's much cheaper.
Yeah.
So you know, like I think there's a lot of firms that you can find are spending a lot of money on Facebook, and you know they're not really sending it to their website. Their website looks kind of dead,
Mm-hmm.
and you can just hit them up and be like, "Hey, I know you're spending like $5,000 a month on Facebook. I have this website, and I can get you leads at the same price or something."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is the like advertising like affiliate business model, right? And finding businesses, creating content, and we are coming back to newsletter business model where it's all started.
Yeah, and what I find interesting is I would almost send them the like create the website before you sell it, almost as long as you have a few different people you can sell it to, and then like route some of the traffic to them, and so they'll get a couple conversions. And they're like, "Who is this website that's like creating customers for me?" And then you say, "Hey, like I'm the one that just created like a couple customers for you. Like if you want a lot more of that, like
Nice,
I'll like
yeah. That's nice approach. It's like a free value, like generate a free value, make people like be thankful already for having you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good
And
approach.
they almost everyone's looking at that, like if you send them some traffic that converts, like they'll know who you are. So
Yeah, exactly. Or you have a lead if it's a service, and you just say, "Hey, just go to these guys and like tell them you're from me or from my like newsletter or from my media," and that's it. Just do it, please, if you will go to them, and then these guys will like, "Wow, like there is someone who recommended us, and who is it?" And that's a very good warm up for having sales conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
I gotta put my son to sleep.
Yeah. Let's finish this. It was a good one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ken.
Yeah,
Let's talk
thank
in
you.
2 weeks.
It's fun. Yeah, okay. All right, and we'll get this posted. Okay.
Bye. Have a good night.